Good day, everybody, and welcome to Inquirer Mobility. I'm your host, R.D. Lopez, and this is your mobility update. What we're going to be talking about today is a very relevant topic when it comes to our current situation, and it's actually quite a common question, and that would be, is it safe to go out there on a road trip, and should we do it at all? Well, the most ideal answer for that would be if you can put it off for a safer time, then just stay home. But then again, this pandemic has dragged on for more than 10 months, and the end of it is still unclear as to when it's going to happen. And we do have to take care of our mental health because this long-term routines are very taxing mentally and emotionally. And one of the best things to take care of that would be to just have a break, reboot, go to a place where you can actually clear your mind. And after taking a break, just get back to your routines once again, re-energized, revitalized, and ready to, take on it once again. Well, you can presume that some destinations would be requiring you to bring a medical certificate that proves that you're negative of the coronavirus. And it's imperative to find out or to know what these main two types of diagnostic tests that are available. Well, of course, the more widely used and more popular COVID-19 diagnostic test would be the antigen test, or what is known as the rapid test. And as its name implies, the results come out in about 10 to 15 minutes. It's a lot cheaper, it's more available, and could be administered almost anywhere. But the thing is, it's not 100% reliable. If you get a positive result from it, then it's likely to be true. But you could get a false negative result because, this antigen test or rapid test tries to detect the protein remnants from the COVID-19 virus. And it does take a day to up to 5 days or even longer for it to manifest or to be detectable by the test. So imagine if you've just taken it and you get a negative result in 15 minutes. Well, that doesn't leave the virus enough time to be detectable. So its reliability, if it's a negative result, could only be about 50%, as research says. So it's sort of like it's dangerous because it gives you a false sense of safety. So it's imperative for you to still follow the safety protocols of wearing a mask, wearing a face shield, and practicing safe distancing. And of course, the other test would be the molecular or the PCR test. Now, PCR stands for polymerase chain reaction. Now, what it does is it detects the genetic material of the coronavirus. And the reason why it's about 5 times more expensive is the fact that the samples from the subject would have to be taken to a laboratory for thorough analysis. And that takes from 1 to 5 days to up to a week. So you can just appreciate why it is that expensive and, unpopular. But, of course, the advantage would be the results are almost 100% accurate and very, very reliable. Now, for more critical situations like overseas travel or a job application, that is the way to go. So you might be asking what the big fuss is all about going out of town when you go to work 3 times a week or sometimes 6 times a week if your work requires it. Well, the biggest factor would be it's a predictable routine. You go to the same familiar space, you meet the same familiar people, and you go through this safety protocol by the number. So it's a lot easier to comply, it's a lot easier to count on, and it's a routine. As opposed to this destination you don't go to very often with family in tow or friends, etc., that you're sure are not carriers, where unexpected occurrences could happen. Like, for example, if you're signing in or checking in a hotel, and for example, this guy approaches you from the side and you realize he's not wearing a mask or not wearing a mask properly. So you're just left with hoping and praying that you did not pick up anything, that he's not a carrier, that you don't bring anything with you to bring home 5 days later, right? So here are some useful tips for you if you plan and if you decide that you're going to go on a road trip. And I can't stress this enough that you should wear your mask and wear it properly. Like your nose is covered as well as your mouth. And bring a couple of extra masks, and your companion should bring extra masks too. And whenever necessary, wear the face shield and practice social distancing. And even if you and your family are always together in the house, when you're in your car and traveling, you all have to wear masks because it's the law. If more than one person is in the car, everybody should wear masks to avoid being apprehended on the road and, avoid being hassled. And this I've learned via my out-of-town trips. Avoid communicating with people through your car window, because if you neglect to notice that the person is not wearing a mask, or not wearing it properly, or not wearing a proper mask, like a cloth mask that doesn't really do much, you might be inadvertently trapping the aerosols that contain the coronavirus inside your car and sharing it with everybody else. So it's a dreadful thought. Stick to Waze, Google Maps, and if you really need to ask for directions from a live person, pull over, get down from the car, and ask for it properly. So you might have assumed correctly upon watching this video about the implications of going out there on a road trip in a situation like this. I just need to reiterate that it's your duty and obligation to be safe for yourself and your family and, of course, the other people out there. If you're decided to get out there on a road trip, plan carefully and wisely, and rethink. If the need is not that great to get out there, just stay home. Once again, this has been Artie for your Inquirer Mobility Update. I'll catch you in the next episode. Please stay safe.